paid, they haven't paid.
Yeah. Yeah. So you can say the same
Exactly.
thing.
You have the same power. It's just like whenever you sign a contract, so let's say you're opening a bank account.
Yeah.
Right? They give you an agreement that you sign. Yeah. And it's full. It's like 3 or 4 pages of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't expect you to go through it.
They don't expect you to actually read it.
Yeah.
But if you take it and take the time to actually read it, you'll see stuff that you don't actually agree with. Okay.
It's like medication, isn't it?
Right. Well, yeah. But you know what?
Yeah.
What you can do, anybody can do with any contract you have to sign. You can actually go through and say, well, like, you know what? I don't agree with that. I'll cross it out.
Okay.
And initial it.
Okay.
Cross it out, initial it. And you can also...
And that stands.
It's an agreement. It's a contract, yeah? So both parties have equal power in that contract, yeah? And both parties can choose whether they accept it or don't accept it. So you cross out the things you don't like. You can write in what you like into that contract and initial it, yeah?
Yeah.
You do that. You cross out what you don't like, write in what you do like, sign it, and send it in to them, yeah. If they don't,
whether they accept it or not, that's down to them.
Yes.
Yeah. So they can. More than likely, because they want yours custom in it, so they probably would.
Well, most of the time, just like we don't read it, they don't read it. So
when it comes down to the crutch at the end of the day, I mean, it's something.
I've done it when I opened my bank account. When I got back to England and I opened a bank account.
Yeah.
That was when I was really in the middle of the Freeman stuff. Yeah. So I took that contract home. I read through it, every line. I crossed out things about certain charges.
Right. Yeah.
I didn't find anything that I felt like I needed to write in, but I literally crossed out the charges I didn't like.
Okay.
Yeah. So I sent it. I gave it back in.
Yeah.
They accepted it and opened up the account. So now, if they start charging me these things, I can go, no, I'm not accepting those charges.
So how long has this account been open?
Well, 8 years.
And you've never had sort of like a overdraft account, or if you've gone over the fees or anything like that?
I haven't, at this point, I haven't had any cause to go back and say, hey, hang on a second.
Okay.
But if they come back and say, oh, we're charging you for this, and I can go now, hang on, no, that's not in our agreement. And I go, well, they can say, well, yes, it is.
Yeah.
I say, well, go back to our original contract. And it will clearly show that I
you didn't agree to that,
and they agreed to it because they opened the account.
Yeah.
So they haven't got a leg to stand on. Yeah.
Have to take time and look through our contracts now.
This is the thing, yeah. We're badly educated, yeah, and we're educated more with the television than we are at school. And there's a reason why there's so many cop shows and there's so many lawyer shows, yeah. It's programming you to believe a version of reality that isn't true. Yeah. So we have more power than we realise. Yeah.
That's true.
And to talk about what you were saying about bailiffs and debt collectors and stuff. Most of the time there aren't any bailiffs. Okay, bailiffs are very specific people, and they don't tend to exist these days.
So bailiffs are the people from the courts? Is that the actual bailiffs? The ones who actually come from a court?
Are court appointed, and they have to be registered and certified as bailiffs. Yeah?
So the people who come with parking fines, etc., they're debt collectors. Okay.
Now, a debt collector has no power whatsoever to even deal with you. Yeah. The only time they have power is when you give it to them. So, if let me step back a second. Let's say you owed £1,000 to a bank, okay, and then all of a sudden you get a debt collector coming to get it. What that debt collector has done, he's paid, say, £10
for your debt,
for that debt, right? And well, right there, you've won already because
your debt's paid.
They've paid your debt.
Yeah.
So one thing you can say to a debt collector is, Thank you very much for paying my debt. You should have come to me first to see if I'd pay you, but I'm not going to do that. Yeah. So thank you and goodbye. Yeah.
I can do that at the moment because I've got, was it Lowell is after me for some debt.
Right.
And I've been ignoring the phone calls. I've been ignoring the letters, but I've been starting to open up and peep. And one letter basically says, oh, you need to pay up immediately. You have to pay, like now, we give you 7 days. Another letter says, oh, we give you 10 days. Another letter we give you 14 days. Another letter says, oh, you can pay 50%. Another letter says, oh, you can pay £1 a week.
Right, okay.
So they're trying to entice me to
give them the power.
Yeah.
And this is a classic one, like you just mentioned. Yeah, they'll come to you and say, give us £1 a month. That's all. That's all. Just give us £1 a month. As soon as you give them anything, you're admitting you owe them something.
Yeah.
Up until that point, you owe them nothing.
Yeah.
They are a company that has no dealings with you. You haven't got a contract with them. Yeah. They don't even have a contract with the bank. They're just a third party who've paid for the right to pretend to get your debt.
That happened with me with is it Inland Revenue? Because when you get the tax credit.
Inland Revenue is a different issue.
They went over. They said they gave me an overpayment,
right?
Which they hadn't really, because when I phoned up 5 times. I got different answers. So in the end, I says, "Well, take me to court." And they didn't. What they did is they started to deduct the money before they gave it to me.
Yes.
And they did that. They cleared it, and then they started again. Same debt, twice. Okay. They came back again. And I cut off from the tax credit, and they said I owed them like nearly four grand, and they put it onto a debt collector because I was ignoring their phone calls, I was ignoring their letters and everything else. And the debt collector, I started to ignore them. There's phoning, I was ignoring them, so I make sure I marked, like their numbers, because I think they leave a message the first time, but afterwards they don't leave messages. They just expect you to pick up the phone.
Yeah.
And it got to the stage when I got a letter from the Inland Revenue saying that basically the debt's been taken, sent back to them, and will I pay them? So I just ignored that too.
Yeah. Well, again, it's all trickery. Yeah. A debt collector buys the debt. Yeah. And hopes they can bully you enough to make them a profit by paying the full amount. Yeah. If they can't get anywhere, they give up. Yeah. Now that debt is now still alive, so another debt collector will chance their luck. Yeah. And they might be even more bullying, and they might send heavy people round, and they might knock on your door a lot and phone you a lot, and if you don't respond, they'll give up as well, and so on until I think it's 7 years. If you don't pay that debt in 7 years, it's wiped.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, for 7 years you might get like a string of debt collectors trying their luck, but you know what? You can either ignore them, or there's letters you can send to them that basically just says, what part of F off don't you understand?
Right.
Or formally the letter can say, can you give us proof of agency? Proof that you're an agent for the company.
Right.
They don't have that. Proof that there's a contract between me and you. Yeah. They don't have that. So on and so on. Proof of the debt. Give me proof that there's a debt there.
Yeah.
They don't have that. Yeah. So you send that letter, they go away.
Okay. Is there any template letters of that?
Yeah, and get out of debt free. I actually know John who runs that.
Okay.
So, but yeah, there are template letters you can download from various places. I've got some on my website actually.
Okay.
But it's worthwhile to know what the process is, know what's actually going on before you start out, so that this is a kind of evolving thing.
Yeah.
We go after them in one way. They come up and think, well, how do we deal with this? And they come up with a different way of trying to frighten you.
Yeah.
And if you don't know what's going on, you'll go, oh, they've got me. And you don't understand.
Because I don't fully understand all of it, so I just do little bits. I don't do, put myself right out there. But I just try to, put a barrier between myself and them. Right.
Well, I mean, a good example is if you have a bank loan. Right. And again, I'll say this, but I don't want everybody to just run out and do this, because again, you've got to understand fully what's going on.
Yeah, the depth of everything, because if you don't know how to get around it, then basically you can put yourself right in the fire.
You'll put yourself in the firing line, and in fact you'll be in the right, but you won't
But
know
you-
you're in right
yeah.
because you'll still have that sort
Yeah,
of
that doubt.
guilty
Yeah.
mentality, and they'll run over you.
Mm.
So when you go for a bank loan, right, the way you think it works is that they give you a loan agreement, you sign it, and they move money from one place to your account.
Yeah.
Now you've got this money, you can spend it, and now once you've spent it, you owe the bank that money plus interest,
Right.
which usually ends up 3 times the amount.
Yeah.
Right? It doesn't work like that.
Mm.
Okay, how it works is they present you with a loan agreement. The loan agreement's got the amount,
Yeah.
a date,
Yeah.
and when you sign it, it's got your signature.
Yeah.
You've just created a promissory note.
Mm.
Yeah, that promissory note is identical to a £20 note in your pocket.
Mm.
You've just created the money.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The real money is your energy.
Okay.
Your promise to use that energy for 30 years or whatever,
Yeah.
however long.
Yeah.
Yeah, to use your energy in the system.
Mm.
That's the money. Okay, you've just created it. What the bank do is take that loan agreement and cash it.
Mm.
And cashing it is essentially them typing 10,000 into your account. That's it. Just they don't move anything.
Nothing. That's just it.
They just type it into your account
That's it.
as credit,
Yeah.
and now you can use that credit in their system.
Mm.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's only worthwhile in their system.
That's
You
it.
can't take those invisible
No.
credits, and literally take them somehow and buy a pint of milk with them,
No.
because there's nothing.
Yeah.
But in their system, you
It
can use
works.
it.
Yeah.
You can buy that pint of milk. You can go to a
Mm.
bank, and a bank will give you these pieces of paper,
Yeah.
which again represent their system, and then buy the pint of milk. So
Yeah.
but the point is, you created the money. Yeah.
Mhm.
When you spend it, the transaction's over with.
Mm.
You created the money, you spent it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But they've tricked you into believing that you have to pay them back with interest.
Mm.
And the other thing about that is when they've got your signed loan agreement,
Yeah.
it becomes a security, because it's got a face value of a 10,000,
Yeah.
but it's got an actual value of 30,000,
Right.
because
Because
you've
you're going to be
agreed
paid
to
that the
pay-
interest.
Right.
Yeah.
So now the bank sells that security for 20,000.
Mm.
Somebody's going to buy it thinking, right, I've just laid out 20, I'm going to get 30 back.
Mm. Mm.
Business.
Mhm.
Yeah. So let's bring it down to the level. Yeah. In you, if I lent you £1,000,
Yeah.
and you give me a gold watch as security,
Yeah.
yeah. Once you paid me back that £1,000, what do you expect to happen?
To return my gold watch.
What if I've sold your gold watch? Right?
Yeah.
There's fraud going
Yeah.
on, yeah? Right? Same thing. That signature on that piece of paper is valuable. It's worth £30,000.
So what you really pay for is really the signature you're talking about, really.
Well, what I'm saying is that security, yeah, is exactly the same security as that
Yeah.
gold watch.
Right.
See?
Yeah?
Yeah.
So when you pay back a loan, you're supposed to get that security back.
Yeah. Yeah.
But they never give it back to you, do they?
No.
Right? They've sold it already. They've made money on you already.
Already,
Yeah? The transaction's over and done with. So when you point that stuff out to them, when you literally confront them with that, even if you're paying off the loan,
Mm.
the first thing that's going to happen is they're going to send a collections agency after you.
Yeah.
Well, what we just said about collections agencies,
Mm.
you've won. At that point, you've won. They've given up the debt to
Yeah,
somebody else.
Yeah.
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 So just the act of saying, "I know your game,"
Mm.
they'll like dump that debt, right? And there's different ways of doing it, but essentially that's it. Yeah?
Okay.
You confront them with the truth. Yeah. They can't let the information, the truth, get out there, because their whole system is based on this lie.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they want to keep it quiet, so they'll just dump it off to a debt collections agency, and you can get rid of them.
Mm. Okay.
But again, you've got to understand
That's
the
the ins
whole
and
thing,
outs.
so
Yeah.
that they can't come back at you and frighten you,
Yeah.
and then you end up in a world of trouble because you don't know what to do next.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and you can't say, a guy on the internet or the radio told me to do it, and
Yeah.
I don't know what to
That's
do
not gonna
next.
work.
But
Yeah.
let me just jump in here.
just to ride on what you're saying,
Mm-hmm.
that when they said the country's in debt, when they say that the country is in debt,
Right.
Now then, the thing is this, right? There's no invoice produced, right? So when they say the country's in debt, really, they're making money out of thin air, because where's the in? Because, all right, for example, right? I would say to them, right? I would say to them that where's the invoice, right? Show me the invoice. And they look at me and say, what are you talking about,
Mm-hmm.
right? So what I'm saying, that they're making money out of basically out of thin air.
Right. This is the thing, you know,
It's one big
this national debt business, yeah. The country is quite capable of printing money free of charge, yeah. It can print money that doesn't have debt attached to it, yeah. And you can spend that money, and there's no debt, there's no national debt. But what this country is doing, and all the countries that are controlled by this Rothschild banking system. Thank you very much. Yeah. Yeah. So what this country is doing, and all these countries are doing, are borrowing money from this national bank, which isn't anything to do with the country. It's a private corporation. Yeah. They're borrowing money from this private corporation at interest. So every time the government creates or borrows money, yeah, say it borrows £1 million, yeah, to use in whatever, yeah. The point is that £1 million comes with interest. It comes with interest. It comes with three times that interest. But what they've done is they've created the million, yeah. They haven't created the other 2 million. They haven't created the other 2 million to pay off the interest. So do you see the problem there? Yeah. Let's imagine there's only £1 million in the world. Yeah. There's only £1 million in the world, right? The government decides to borrow another million. This Rothschild bank basically creates £1 million, prints off £1 million, yeah? Okay. And now it's this £1 million comes with another £2 million of debt, yeah, of interest, yeah. So now there's only £2 million in the world, right? The bank now is owed £3 million. So where's that other money coming from? It's not coming from anywhere. It means that the only way to pay off that debt is to borrow more money, which means there's more debt. So, and you get into this cycle of more debt, you print off more money to pay off the debt. Well, no, there's more debt now, and so on and so on, and the debt keeps rising until what happens is that debt has to be paid off with real things. Right. So literally, the people behind the banking system will end up, which they already end up owning everything, because that debt has to be paid off. And where it goes between countries, what you'll find is all of these countries have a Rothschild-controlled bank behind them. So it's like when they say one country's owing another country, so no, it's one bank owing itself money. It's not real. It's a lie.
It's the same people who's owned the banks throughout the world, isn't it?
Yes.
So that's why they create wars in other countries that they haven't got any control over.
Exactly.
Because they want to put their banks there so that they can got control over country.
Look what happened after 9/11. Yeah. The only countries like Iraq, Afghanistan, Libya, Somalia, Yemen. Yeah. The only I think North Korea and Iran are the only two that still don't have a Rothschild-controlled bank. Wow. But all those countries were also countries that didn't have that bank, that central bank.
And
so
they
now
use
they do.
that 9/11 to invade, even though it's their own thing in it.
Yes.
Well, they call it collateral damage.
Yes. So it's.
Sorry, I got someone on the line here.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. Can you feel free to phone back, please? Aunty, can you give the live link number again?
Oh, sorry. The live link number is 0794 443 1366. I shall repeat 079 444 31366.
Okay then. So feel free to phone back. Yeah. Okay then. But and inside the house we have the great man Dave, you know, who have a wealth of information and knowledge. What I'm gonna do at this point, yeah, I'm gonna make Aunty Jean come into the mix because I know she was very fascinated by some of the questions she was asking Dave from last week. You have some questions ready for us, Aunty Jean?
Well, that's asking questions for her, isn't it?
No, we're
Where you been? You was at the room?
No, I'm saying about the whole thing about the health thing.
Oh, right.
Right?
Okay.
You want to come up on that?
No, you
No?
just go with the flow.
Oh, just go on the flow? Okay then. No, because I know you have specific questions you wonder, but what we do then, right? Right? Because we're talking about the straw man, you know, and I'm quite fascinated. In fact, Dave, just to bring up to speed, we put on an event talking about the straw man. It was about, it might have been 2 years ago. Yeah, nearly 2 years ago. The first one we put on, right? We talk about straw man and etymology, the roots of words. In fact, Jammers was speaking on the with dramatized doing a thing, and the place was packed. You was there, Aunty?
Yeah, I think it was,
Yeah.
it was there with,
Part
yeah.
of your academy. It was
With,
really
King Lion,
packed.
is it?
Mhm.
Yeah, King Lion
Yeah.
and this woman called Zoe,
Yeah.
right? It was packed because you know obviously we've done a lot of work to hyping it up and everything, but the place was so packed. And it's then I noticed that people are so interested with your thing about the straw man, which is a new
Mhm.
concept, and you know we've done our research and everything. And really, due to people like King Lion, done a lot of work in that area there, right? We put an event recently at Chestnuts. I don't know if Aunt Jean was there.
No, it
Talk
wasn't the
about
last
the
one.
straw man and talk about the whole thing about social workers. Because one of the things that we're trying to make them be accountable now, because there's a lot of it all ties in, you know. I talk the role of parenting, but the thing about the straw man is very, very important because, again, it's about understanding law. Is it legalese, law, something like that?
Right. Well, you just mentioned about social workers.
Yeah.
And you know, stealing children and stuff.
Yeah.
There are two things about to know about that. Well, first of all, they're not your children.
No, because the birth certificate means that you've signed them over to.
The word register
Yeah.
means to hand over title
Yeah.
ownership.
Well, say that again. Say that again. It's very important. Say that again.
So the word register means to hand over title ownership of whatever you're registering with whoever you're registering with.
So you said that once you, as you said, once you sign over the birth certificate, they're not your children.
Yes. So when you register the birth, then the child becomes.
Yeah. Because I know of a case with a woman who's had 4 children, and one of them wasn't registered. And when social service came to her house, they took the 3. They said, no, we can't touch that one because that one wasn't actually registered. That hasn't got a birth certificate.
So
Yeah.
that baby did not belong to the state.
No.
So
that's how it comes. They can walk into your house, take your children, go into the school, take your children, because basically you give them that right once you've registered. But they put it in a way that you have to do it, you know, within 6 weeks of the child's birth.
Yeah, they'll try and coerce you into doing it. They'll bully you. They'll threaten you with a £1,000 fine or something.
Right.
Yeah, but they've got no power to force you.
So they
to
can't
hand
take you
some-
to court. So this is for all the people who sort of like is going into that situation now. They can't take you to court for that.
No, they can threaten you and bully you. But the other thing is that means they can't automatically join in this system.
Yeah.
It means it's difficult, not impossible, to get, say, a passport. Yeah, but I said it's difficult but not impossible.
Right,
You have to
because
jump through a lot
that's
more hoops.
that's a main thing, because I'm a person, I don't want to be stuck in this country. So I know when you become a straw, well, when you a free man, yeah, once you become a free man, basically you relinquish all of this, the other stuff that helps you to travel and all of that, because
Yes.
you're tied to the system. I don't want to put myself in a position where I'm actually stuck here. I don't want to be here. So
Right, true.
you know, so is there ways of doing that and you can escape this country?
Not really.
Right,
I mean,
that's
even,
the thing. You trap
even
yourself,
I have
don't you?
Yeah, even I have a passport, because at the end of the day,
You don't want to be trapped.
you'll be at the airport, and it'll come
be a
down
whole
to
host of- yeah.
Bod who says, no, you can't go. You
Yeah,
haven't got a passport.
yeah.
Can't let you go. The computer says no.
That's
you can't
just
do it.
my main,
Yeah,
worry about
it's
all
not.
of it.
It's not the whole state stops you. It's that person on the desk says no. Well, it says you need a
No.
passport.
Yeah,
You can't go.
yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
You know. So there's no way around that. You know.
Okay.
And
I heard there's a passport that the free man uses. Is there such thing? I mean, can you travel freely with it? I can't remember the name of it at the moment, but
I don't
somebody
know.
says that you can get this passport and you can travel with it.
Yeah,
but-
there's there was an initiative a while back called the it's gone out of my head now, but we were, I was part of it, and we were trying to make a passport.
Right.
I don't know it. At the time, it didn't go very far.
Okay.
There is a world passport.
Yeah, I
issued
think
out
so. What
of
I heard.
Washington,
Does that
DC.
actually work?
Well, there's a website where you can go and where people said, say they've gone somewhere and it worked. And there's a list of countries that people have tried and it worked. But again, it's
It's who
still,
you are, I suppose,
it's
as
still
well, isn't
registering yourself with somebody,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
so it's just changing that somebody.
Mm.
So, that. So while you're in this system, you can't.
You
not
can't
be
dilute
in
it
the
everything,
system.
can you?
Yeah,
You-
you can't
yeah.
not be. And this is how they've made the system. So you can't not be part of it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
the best thing you can do is be apart from it as much as you can.
Mhm.
The other thing about this, registering,
Yeah.
and about child stealing
Yes.
in particular. For everything they do, they have to get our consent. They need our consent. Okay. And one of the ways they get our consent is through films and television.
Mhm.
So, child stealing in particular, there was a film that most people have seen. It's called Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
Oh.
You remember that film?
Yeah. I used to
Yeah?
like that film.
A lovely,
Actually.
lovely film, lovely
Yeah,
family film.
Yeah.
But do you realise that there was a dark part in that film?
No, I'm
Don't
gonna
you
have to
remember
rewatch.
Don't
it.
you remember the dark part of the film? It
Ah.
was where the child catcher would come along and steal children.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it turns out that Ian Fleming, the one who wrote James Bond, wrote that
Well, same.
wrote Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
Okay.
And the
Actually,
story.
I'm gonna have to watch that film again.
And
Who was the star in that film? That's
Dick Van Dyke. Dick Van Dyke, the tall American who put a
okay.
Cockney
Right.
accent on.
the important thing about that is, in Ian Fleming's original story, there was no child catcher.
Oh,
Disney added
they
that in.
added that in.
Yeah, I think it was Disney. Yeah, I think it was Disney.
Yeah,
They
it
added
was
that
Disney.
in. Okay.
Yeah.
And that was really to get our consent. Right? Because as soon as that film came out and nobody complained about this idea of child stealing by the state,
Right.
that's when child stealing by the state came in.
Wow.
Don't complain. You agree to it. Silence is consent.
See. Right.
That's how it works. They'll put something out there. If nobody complains, well, okay, they must agree with it.
Wow.
So yeah, that's one of the things about how this system works.
Wow. That's not good.
It's not good. They're getting our consent all the time.
So basically, whereas, say you get stopped by police,
Mhm.
so basically don't stay silent, say your piece, but minimally.
Try not
like,
to talk to the police.
Mm.
How they get consent in this instance
Yeah.
is they might say, okay, I'm going to charge you for doing 60 and a 30.
Hmm.
Do you understand?
And the thing to say is, no, I don't understand.
No, I don't understand.
Yeah, I don't understand.
Because they're not, at that point, they're not speaking English to you.
Yeah, because
they're speaking legalese.
I've only found out, like, was it last year or so, that when you say that you understand, basically you're saying you consent. You
stand
agree.
under.
Yeah.
You're saying you stand under their authority.
Yeah.
You accept to be bound by, you
Yeah.
consent to. And so they get your
So
consent. the other way they get your consent is by identifying yourself. Okay, identify means to make yourself the same as. Yeah, make the same as.
Yeah.
So, and I'm going to step back a second. Okay, the Most High created man. Okay.
Yeah.
So the Most High is superior to man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man created government.
Right.
So we are above government.
Yeah.
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 Government creates fictional entities
Right.
such as driver,
Yes.
taxpayer,
Yes.
resident,
Right.
occupier.
Right.
All these fictional entities.
Right.
Yeah. So when you identify yourself as one of these fictional entities, in this case a driver, now you've given up your status as above government,
Right.
and you've now taken on the status of a fictional entity that the government controls.
Right. So you're not a driver, you're a traveller.
You're not a driver, you're a traveller.
Mm.
Yeah. When you look up what a driver is in a legal dictionary, okay, you have to be very clever and follow lots of different terms.
Right.
But you eventually get to the realization that a driver is somebody who is employed to do business on the roads.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So a taxi driver is a driver.
Yeah.
A truck driver is a driver.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
when you get in your car to go to the shops, you're not driving.
Yeah.
Yeah,
not,
you're not
being paid.
Acting
So yeah.
in commerce.
Yeah.
You know it's commerce because again, look at the terms. Yeah. Traffic.
Yeah.
What does traffic mean?
I don't know. Tell me.
Well, what do you think it means, naturally?
A whole load of things.
Loads of cars
yeah.
together.
Yeah. Together. Yeah.
Well, think of another way that word is used. Drug trafficking,
That's right.
buying and selling, that's what it means.
Mm.
Commerce.
Mm.
So the Road Traffic Act, there's a reason why they use traffic. Does it, think about it, Road Traffic Act.
Mm.
Why is it talking about lots of cars on the road?
Yeah.
Why isn't it not, the Road Users Act?
Right. Yeah.
No, Road Traffic Act, Road Commerce Act.
Right.
That's what it means. It's regulating people doing commerce on the road. But if you identify yourself as a driver, well, now you confess
Then
to
you're
being a driver.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
now all these things like tax, MOT, insurance, now they apply because they apply to drivers.
Mm. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So this is how they've tricked us. Right? Remember tax?
Mm.
It used to say on a tax disc, private.
Oh yeah.
and
Private
light
light goods. That's right. Yes. Yeah.
Why light goods?
Yeah. Yeah.
Why would you be transporting light
Light
goods?
goods.
It's because
Yeah.
you're admitting you're acting in commerce.
Because I've got a minibus, and they asked me, what do I need to use the minibus for? Insurance, and the licensing, and basically I said, well, travel with children because I'm a childminder. I take children to and from school, do to and from school pickup service, and they put them down as light goods.
Yeah. So
It's not-
it's
yeah.
you acting in commerce.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if you're travelling, you don't need MOT, don't need tax, don't need insurance. You're acting in your own private capacity.
Right.
Just the same as you're walking down the street or walking in a park. Yeah. An accident can happen.
Yeah.
You could cause an accident in the park.
Yeah.
Well, you don't have to have insurance, do you?
No.
Yeah, they've just convinced you that
you-
somehow an accident on the road is somehow different from an accident anywhere else.
Mm.
Yeah.
Which
So-
it isn't really, is it? When
It
you
isn't,
check
it's
it.
not.
No.
Nobody wants to cause an
No.
accident. you
No.
know?
Nobody goes out to
No, it's
intentionally.
an accident.
Yeah.
And somehow an accident on the road is somehow different from an accident anywhere else. It's not.
Mm.
So yeah, it's trickery, and you inadvertently confess to things without knowing
Yeah.
it because you're speaking a different language.
We need a list of these words because like occupier, because I'm getting letters back to the occupier because with the the TV license thing.
Mm-hmm.
So I've sort of like ignored it. So
Well,
it's
just
gone from
carry
my
on.
name to the legal occupier. So I just bin them.
Carry on ignoring.
I just
them.
bin them.
I started going out with a girlfriend, my girlfriend, way back, and I just moved into this house, and my girlfriend was new to this whole free man stuff, and I was
Okay.
right in the middle of it.
Right.
So
Was it frightening her a bit? Did it?
well, yeah, she didn't understand it or anything.
Yeah.
But what happened was this TV license guy came round, and so I opened the door. The TV was on in the background.
Yeah.
It had my computer on it.
Okay.
You know,
But yeah.
it was on.
Yeah.
And he said, TV licensing. Just want to see if you've got a television. There's not one registered at this address.
Mm.
And I said, is there a contract between you and me?
Yeah.
And he said, no. I said, what part of F off don't you understand? And I shut the door. My girlfriend was like, ah. That was it. That was end of story.
And didn't come back.
They didn't come back.
Right. Right.
There's nothing. They've got no power. If you look into the story,
Mm.
they actually made two what they call hero models,
Mhm.
two vans. They kitted out with meaningless electronics and screens and stuff that didn't do anything,
Yeah.
and they showed them on television.
TV detector
The
vans.
TV detector vans.
Yeah.
And they showed you the picture inside with all this
Yeah.
stuff,
Technical stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
right, that didn't work. Yeah.
Oh, it didn't work.
And then they had loads of vans with just TV detector van on the side with nothing in them. Yeah.
Just to fool.
Just to drive around and frighten
Oh.
people. And that's what they've done. They've just frightened people. There's no law that says you have to do it.
No.
It's a private corporation
Yeah.
saying, making an offer. Could you pay for our services, please?
Yeah.
Yeah. And they're just frightening you into.
Mm.
Nobody's ever really been prosecuted for it. There's somebody who actually replied to one of the letters and said, "Prosecute me because I don't." Nobody's ever been prosecuted with this.
Right. Right.
And they didn't. And if you watch the letters that come in, yeah, they come in and they increasingly get more and more sort of frightening, and they get red and,
Yes.
and scary.
Yeah.
And then they go back to normal,
yeah.
and then they build up again, and they go back to
Yeah.
normal. And so, yeah.
And then they sort of like say, well, maybe it's not that person. We put occupier
Yeah.
instead. Yeah.
And again, if you can, there is a list of these words.
Okay.
It's called the Legal Dictionary.
Oh, okay.
So get like Black's Law Dictionary. That's got
Mm.
lots and lots of editions. You get a Black's Law Dictionary, look up some of these words,
Yeah.
and you'll be shocked. You know.
Is the Black's Law Dictionary easy to get hold of? Is there
Go
any
online.
particular place
Go
that you
online.
can get them?
Black's Law Dictionary PDF.
And I heard that there's quite a few versions.
Yes, so there's different
So
editions.
is there a good one to go for?
Well,
Aim for?
Well, again, you know, when they want to get you on a particular thing, they'll specify a particular edition.
Right.
Yeah, so it's really good to go and get an early edition
Okay.
to find out what's really going on.
Right.
Because they try and hide it later on in the later direction.
So they kind of
Edition.
disguise it out and yeah.
So, like, if you look up what a motor vehicle is,
Yeah.
you'll find the definition includes the word vehicle. So
Oh,
they're trying to
okay.
define motor
Okay.
vehicle with the word vehicle,
Yeah,
which
yeah.
isn't defined.
It's not that.
But you go and look again. It's a commercial term. You know, it's a vehicle. It's a device for transporting people or
Mhm.
goods.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So you know, it's again a commercial term. If you're not acting in commerce, it doesn't apply to you.
Right.
Yeah. But if you're fooled into believing it applies to you and you confess
Mm.
to it, well, now it applies to you.
Yeah. Yeah.
But this is the thing. The I call them muggles. The normal people out there who don't have any clue about what's really going on.
Mm.
Yeah. Well, they're the majority.
Yeah.
And when you stand up for your rights, like I did, if you go onto my YouTube channel,
Yeah.
one of the earliest videos out there is me deregistering my car and standing up for my right to travel.
Yeah.
The point is, though, the majority of people out there, in that case, side with the police because they don't understand.
Mm.
They'll just go, "Why didn't he pay his insurance? Why didn't he get his tax and MOT? Why not? You know,
Why are they questioning
it's
that? You know,
stupid.
really, yeah.
well, it's stupid." So the police and the courts are quite happy to just roll over you and ignore what you're saying, even though it's the truth.
Yeah.
They'll ignore it
Yeah.
because they know that public opinion is going to side with them. But if everybody knew what was really going on, yeah, they couldn't get away with it.
No,
But
because
I
the
just want
majority
to,
rules.
jump in here because there's a sister I know quite well, and she's been following the doing the straw man. She's up to speed for that, right? But she was telling me that when she first started, right, she made they used to hit me made a lot of mistakes, and they used to hit me, right? But now she's having a laugh with them because her argument at the end of the day is that, I mean, when they ask her to pay like parking fines and this and that, and paying for this and that, where you're parking everything, she goes to them, well, listen, what am I paying for? I don't mind paying, but explain to me what am I paying for? And they can't explain to her. They just can't explain it, right? But just think that she understands the law inside out because she's doing a lot of stuff and research on it. And the bailiffs on it, she has to laugh at them. In fact, she goes to me, I'm charging you. This is my time. You're charging you. And then wonder, what's this woman is? You know?
Yeah, we kind of already covered that about the fee schedule. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that you know, it's about knowing the law, understanding the law and everything. You know?
It's more about understanding your own power.
Understanding, yeah, where you stand with, well, above the law rather than under the law, isn't it?
You are
and
above
the
government.
trickery of the words, because they play with words.
So that's you understand. I mean, you understand.
Yeah.
You understand.
Yes. Actually, the English language is basically deception.
Yeah.
This is the research I'm doing in language at the moment. The whole English language is deception. Just like the you can tell what a language focuses on. Did you know in the Inuit language, the Eskimo language, there are 50 words for snow?
50
words for snow.
Okay.
We have one.
Yeah.
But in their culture, it's very important to know exactly what type
kind
of
of snow it
so
is.
they have 50 nuances of 50 words for deception in
In
English language, yes. So you can tell
250 words.
So you can tell
For deception, yeah.
For deception, so that you can tell what's important for this language.
Wow.
And this language is important because deception is important to this language because every word is ambiguous, and
It's got
sometimes it
double
means
meaning in
exactly
it.
the opposite.
Yeah.
Of
So
what
what
you
it's actually
say.
said.
So like the word cure, for instance, yeah, it has a different meaning. Do you know what that other meaning is?
No.
Think about curing meat.
Oh, yeah.
Preserve.
Yes. Yes.
So when you say you want to cure cancer,
yeah,
you're actually
you're
saying
preserving
you
it,
want to preserve it.
which they do.
Exactly. So and it's magic. It's word magic against yourself. So the word suffer. Yeah. So if you're suffering with something,
Yeah.
it actually means to permit. Do not suffer a witch to live. Do not permit a witch to live. Yeah. So the original meaning of that word is to permit. So if you're suffering from cancer, what are you doing?
Suffering from cancer.
You're allowing it.
Yeah.
You're permitting it.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's magic. This is word magic.
Wow.
Yeah. Doctor.
Yeah.
What is a doctor? What think about the verb to doctor.
Yeah. To force. Yeah.
To poison. When you doctor something, you poison
Yeah, because you're
it.
doctor, isn't it? You're doctoring something. Yeah.
So you're telling this is telling
And I've
you
never
what-
looked at it that way, you know.
Yes.
I mean, you say doctor, and especially our elders. You know, they believe everything the
Sorry,
doctor.
we got someone on
says.
the live link. Sorry, greetings.
Greetings.
Yes, greetings.
Greetings. Dave, I just wanted to have to say quickly, could you please, you've got so much information, could you please run a course of some sort so that all the information, I know a lot of your information is on YouTube, but just to hear you, see you explaining it so people can copy it on paper, can you put some kind of short course together?
I've got
that possible?
I've got loads of talks that I do about all these subjects. I'm very crap at organising things, yeah. So I rely on other people to organise them. And if somebody wants me to do a talk, just have to tell me. You know, can you do a talk, and I'll do it.
We organise it. Don't
We can.
You know, because it's not something that can be done like in one session. It's like because you've got so much information on a lot of different subjects. Because I used to research you a couple of years ago. I saw you on YouTube, and then there's been a gap. And then now hearing everything again, I really would love it if you could actually put on like a course that runs over a certain amount of weeks, not just like one seminar. Because you know too much information for it to be crammed into one session.
Because me and Dave, we've been talking, and obviously that one of the things he wants to do, he wants to help people to fulfill their true potential and health and etc. But again, you know, it takes organization. There's no magic one. So we are talking. In fact, he will be at the event on the 15th of July. Talking about health as an introduction about himself, and then with that, we have a relationship where we will be talking with Dave in terms of putting other seminars we want to do. But again, we just need people just to.
I'm happy to help. I'm happy to help you, Dougie, organise it. It's Sharon here, so I'm happy to help you in helping organise it. But I just think it's just too important for it to be crammed into one session. He knows too much.
Yeah, but even still, we have to.
That sounds dangerous.
We have to value the brother
in a positive way.
We have to value.
That's right. That's what I'm saying. That we have to work out. Yeah. So I'm happy if I can call. I'll call you another time, or I'll call you directly, Dave, to work out what you think. You know, but all those things can't be said over here.
Yeah. But the question is, so you know about Dave a few years ago, yeah?
I knew about Dave a few years ago. I researched him to do with the strawman. Okay. So it was part of the research I did, and then there was obviously a long gap because everything in my life turned upside down. And then obviously, just recently, obviously I've been listening to your shows, Dougie, and got involved in, I've been researching his urine therapy, which obviously, you know, you go, oh God. But yeah, so I've been looking at that, and then obviously tapping back into all the other information, because I remember looking at him and thinking, oh my gosh, it's the same man that I used to research a few years ago, but he's just got such a wealth of knowledge. Yeah, that's why when I was dealing with the bailiffs and things, I remember seeing his YouTube video a few years ago where I've just left them to run out of steam.
Right. But it's quite interesting because I've only met Dave, I think it was, first time was, it was last week, Thursday, because I spoke to him on Tuesday through Liz, met him Thursday, and there was something about him, because when I spoke to him, he gave me a lot of clarity about certain information, certain things I was inquiring about, and I had to go up online on YouTube and spend 3 or 4 hours just looking at the man's works, you know what I mean? You know? And it so happens that Tuesday, this brother called Levi, he was just the radio, and he was so shocked to hear that this is brother Dave in the studio talking about health and this and that. And he said that he'd been following Dave for many years, you know. So you know, we have a legend in our midst, and he's so humble with it, you know. But
yeah, that's what, and he explains things so easily. When you watch it, it's just clarity when it's explained. So that's why I'm saying, you know, like I'm sure if we can talk, that there can be some kind of course we can work out all the, you know, what, because he's got so much knowledge that he can save people a lot of headache and a lot of financial worries by just like a short course, but they will, you know, obviously have, you know, pay for his time and things like that. But it'll be so, I mean, I'm just gripped listening to him. I'm just gripped every time I've heard him in different stations, and every time I hear him, I don't move, I'm just listening.
Okay then. Okay, that's fantastic.
Thank you.
Oh, sorry. Thank you, Dave. Sorry.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Yeah. Well, one of the things you could do is let people know that he'll be speaking at the Chestnut Community Centre on the 15th of July. We'll be talking about prostate cancer, diabetes, and health, and talking about the importance of education and that stuff there. So.
Yeah, I won't be able to make that event on that particular day. That's why I thought it was just important. I didn't want to miss him, like, and there's a long gap, so that's why I've just called in, because normally I just listen to, when you're on the radio, I just listen to, you know, like who your guests are and what your topic is. But I know Dave's been travelling the last week, or, you know, so he's been on all the stations that you've been doing. But it's just got so much information, and I thought, oh, I'm just going to phone him direct. But I thought, let me just, because I'm going off to the internet cafe now to go and do more research on you, Dave. It's just fantastic because the information is there, and he's giving it away, not in a horrible way, but as I said, it's very humble because it's all free.
Yeah. Well,
So I just want to like you could run a course so that you know you've got all the information over a number of weeks, because there's just so much, and it's just something someone can hold on to instead of just looking at it on the internet and just making little notes. Because obviously, even when he speaks, it's even like when I hear him speaking to you, it's even more clarity is coming, and more fear leaves. You know, like an individual, when you can actually hear the person telling you what your rights are, what your power really is.
Yeah, well, you can always drop me a line if you want. I'm Dave at allegedlydave.com.
I don't have none of that kind of technical ability, so I don't have an email. I just kind of use the internet as shop. I don't have emails and all that thing. So I would have to phone you.
All right, do you want my number? I'm happy to give it out.
Yes, hold on. Let me, because I'm going to have to go in the room with the radio, so it's going to go funny. 1 second, let me just grab a bit of paper. One sec, sorry.
So, you know, because on my website I put my phone number out.
Put your number on there already.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I'm just conscious, you know.
No.
Okay, right, yep.
It's 07
Yep.
9292
Okay, so it's 079,
292
yes,
313
yes.
48.
Thank you, Dave.
You're welcome.
I will drop you, I'll send you a message.
Okay, cool.
Lovely, thank you. Thank you, Brother Dougie.
Oh, thank you very much, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, take care.
Good night. Bye.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye. Okay then. Well, when people get to hear what we have inside this horse here, they've done a research, they're going to be truly moved by this brother here. Okay then. So again, the John Master Show, the show after the show. And we have beautiful Aunty Jean inside the house, and I try to run things still, you know what I mean, with some intellectual reasoning. What up to my friend Liz? What up to you? You're listening, yeah? Well, if you have a question you want to ask, just feel free to. You have a question you want to ask? Huh?
Yeah.
Go.
Okay.
No, I'm still going back to urine thing. So
Come back to that.
should I leave that one for now? Can I ask?
No. Come.
Okay.
Dave, can I ask you, about the urine, to be honest with you, like what I'm worried about my son or anyone that are going to take it that have mental illness, like the thing cleansing you up, like it's like the medicine they're taking that keep them going, when they take the urine, it's going to wash everything off. So it's like if you remove it quickly, wouldn't there be a problem? That's one of the things I'm worried about.
Right. Well, the thing I've been.
Did you understand what I was?
I understand.
Okay.
The thing I think I've said a few times now is that first of all, the medication isn't doing anybody any good. Okay, it's they're removing symptoms, not doing anything about the actual problem. Yeah. So it might remove the symptom. It's just like taking a car into the garage because the engine warning lights come on, and the mechanic taking the bulb out. Yeah. The symptom is gone. The bulb is no longer lit. You're not aware of the problem, but the problem's still there.
Yeah.
Okay, and it's going to get worse, but you're not going to be aware of it because the warning light isn't on. So that's exactly what's going on. The symptoms being dealt with, but not the problem. Right. So washing that stuff out of you is what you want to do, because it's not helping you. Right. That's the point. Yeah. So the only thing that's a real problem with doing that is because these pharmaceutical poisons, if you stop them suddenly, can cause problems. So normally I get people, sometimes then they won't cause problems if you stop them suddenly. I'll tell the person, stop taking it. Great. But for these other ones, you have to kind of ramp them down so that your body doesn't feel the effect of going without them. So let the urine take control and just ramp these other poisons down until you're not taking them.
So taking your urine is okay, because even if you're on high medication, because sometimes medication can be so strong you can actually smell it in your urine.
No, what you smell in your urine is the body's response to the not the actual thing itself, unless it's a type of substance that the body thinks is a natural substance and it lets it through.
Right.
Yeah, and in only in those cases, and they're quite rare cases, you can overdose on it because you're taking it again.
Yeah, because I was thinking, wouldn't it contaminate your urine? The actual chemicals.
It's only those that mimic natural, healthy substances.
But do we know what those are? Those chemicals are?
Well, by researching, because every time somebody comes to me with a problem and their list of medications,
right,
I'll literally go through and research their medications,
okay,
and figure out which ones are likely to cause problems.
Right.
And the regular the way of dealing with that is literally just ramping them down. Some of them will have to ramp down slowly or more slowly than others.
Yeah.
But it's just a question of letting your body get used to
a decreased amount.
Yeah, a decreased amount.
Yeah.
And so, if somebody's ramping down, and they hit a point where they're starting to get symptoms again,
right?
And it's a little difficult to figure out because sometimes it's a healing crisis, and sometimes it's it's the symptoms returning. But yeah, that's another issue.
Right.
But when they start seeing the symptoms return, all they do is go back one step, and then stay there for an additional week, just to let the body get used to that level, and then ramp down again. Yeah?
Right. Right.
So yeah, it is an issue, but it's not the kind of issue you're thinking it is.
Okay. That's one of the things I was worried about. Thanks for explaining it to me, too. Thank you, Dave.
Okay, then. So, what I'm going to do now, right, we're going to have a very short break, 2 minutes, get a little breather, and then we're going to continue the whole reasoning. Yeah, because... and Aunty, please give the live link number.
Live link number 07944431366. I repeat, 07944431366.
Okay, then, fantastic.
Hello, this is Brian Tracy, and welcome to the 21st century. In less than 50 years, we have gone from the industrial age through the service age and into the information age, and things will never be the same again. We've moved in one generation from the age of the job, where people started off with a career and a company and stayed there for most of their lives, to the age of the entrepreneur, the contingency worker, the free agent, where you will work at a variety of jobs and careers throughout your life. We've moved from the age of manpower to the age of mind power. We have gone from a time where value was contained in land, capital, factories, fixtures, and raw materials into the psychozoic age, the age of the mind, where value is now contained in knowledge and skill, and in your ability to apply it quickly in a competitive marketplace. Every major shift in culture and technology is recognized by only a few people at first, the innovators and early adapters, like yourself. These are followed by the late adapters, a larger percentage of the population, and then eventually by everyone else, the vast majority who catch on much later, if at all. We have moved from the era of lifelong employment to the era of lifelong employability. The biggest mistake you can ever make is to ever think that you work for anyone else but yourself. The innovators and early adapters recognize that they are completely self-responsible agents in a competitive workplace. You are the president of your own personal services corporation. You are the president of an entrepreneurial organization with only one employee, yourself. You have one product to sell in the marketplace, your personal services. For the rest of your life, your job is to run your personal company efficiently and effectively so as to maximize your value. Your goal must be to sell the very highest quality and quantity possible of your personal services so that you can enjoy a wonderful standard of living, accomplish all of your goals and dreams in life, and retire financially independent. Here are some questions for you.
So we've got some of the live greetings.
Greetings, can you hear me? It's just a quick one because my phone charger is not working so well. It's just, could you ask Dave, please, whether when you christen your child, does the child become automatically deregistered from the system, and you give your child back to the Most High?
When you christen a child, did you say?
Yeah. Do you put your child? Are you in a position to say that my child has been is not solely belonging to the state?
Right.
But however, is now given back to the Most High.
Okay, well, this is the thing. When you register the child, yeah, so you get a birth certificate for the child, yeah, you are handing title ownership of that child's body to the state, yeah. When you christen that child, you're handing over that child's soul to the Vatican. It's a bit of a distinction there.
No. When you christen your child, as I say, if you don't christen your child by the words in which you christen your child, the Vatican itself is the same way of abuse of the Christianity. But when the Roman Catholics decided they would change their Catholicism to own them as a body, when you christen yourself, the words that you use, you say, "I hand my child to the Most High." That's not what you say when you christen your child.
The Christianity, the Catholic Church, has got nothing to do with the Most High.
Yeah, I just said. I'm saying you just said that you said you hand it out to the Vatican. I said no, you don't.
You do. It goes. The whole process, that ritual, is handing your child's soul over to the Vatican, and the Vatican has got nothing whatsoever to do with the Most High. Yeah. Their God is this three-part Roman pagan sun deity, yeah, that includes this Jesus character, yeah. The Most High is the Most High I Am of Abraham, Isaac and Joseph, two different entities, yeah. So no. That process, that ritual, is literally you handing over the soul of that child to the Vatican. It all goes back to the Vatican. Whether you know it or not, that's what happens.
I just thought it was an important thing to bring up. I wanted to start the debate up. I thought it would be a helpful thing to bring up.
Yeah, well, it is actually, because it's, you know, it's important to know that we go through all these rituals, you know, blindly. We think it works one way, but you know what? Just like I'm saying about the, you know, the words we use in the legal world. Yeah, we don't know what we're doing when we say yes, I understand. We think it's one way, but it actually means something else.
Okay. Sorry, sister, can you turn your radio? We're getting a feedback. Turn your radio.
Oh.
Turn your radio down.
I'll have to come out. Can you hear me now?
No, we can hear you, but just get there's some feedback. So.
Can you hear me now?
Yes,
Yeah,
that's
can hear
better.
you.
Is that better here?
Yeah, better, a lot more better. Yeah, it's good.
I just apologise. Yeah, we had a little problem with the phone.
Yeah, so it is an important point, because we go through all these rituals not knowing what we're doing. You know, one thing I realised when I was reading Leviticus, I started to actually see what this sacrifice business was all about.
Absolutely.
And what the thing we don't realise is we participate in sacrifices all the time. Yeah?
Absolutely.
If you take your pieces of paper with esoteric symbols on them, yeah, you take them to a temple where there's esoteric symbols outside, yeah, and you hand those pieces of paper over as your sacrifice, basically. Oh, no, I'm being facetious there. You hand over your pieces of paper, and in the back room, or somewhere along the line, somebody kills an animal in a ritualistic fashion, and they actually pray over it in some other religion, and then they cook that animal, and they give it to you, and you eat it. That's a form of sacrifice, right? But you just think you're eating a Big Mac. Yeah, that's it. You're engaging in a pagan sacrificial ritual, but you don't know it. You just think you're doing something normal, and this whole world is structured in that way. We go around thinking we're doing one thing, and we're doing something completely different. And that act of christening a child is one of those things.
Absolutely. You got any more questions you want to ask my sister?
Only the one other one which we were using currently in terms of replacing your identity to fit into to change your the corridors of power for yourself, where we use the word outing and in place of the word event, so that we don't have to say that we are requesting a service from a body when we can automatically go walk freely into a park ourselves. Just to see the difference between going to a park as an outing and going to a park requesting to do it as under and asking someone for a license to do something what you already have the power to do.
Exactly. There's the more you look into the words that we use, the best way to do that is finding an old dictionary, okay, with square brackets in the definition. Yeah.
Yes.
Because the square brackets tell you the original usage of that word. Yeah.
Yeah, they could what that word is.
So then you can actually see things like the word nice, for instance. We all got an idea what the word nice means. Yeah. It actually means stupid and ignorant.
Yes. Yeah.
The original the original word nice.
Yeah, the original meaning of the word.
The word meaning of nice means stupid and ignorant.
Yes.
So that's in what? That's in the. How do you come across that in the dictionary?
You find a dictionary with an old dictionary that has square brackets in the meaning, and the square brackets mean this is the original meaning of the word. Yeah.
How the word was used.
Yeah, how the word was originally used. The word bad, for instance, actually means womanish and effeminate. Womanish and effeminate.
Okay. Then.
So if you think Michael Jackson, before the Bad album came out, he was still masculine, but then
they did the same thing.
He was I'm bad. I'm bad.
They do the same thing. The word gay, to say that gays and that gay means something. When it basically meant something cheerful and pleasant, rather than to change the
Yeah, but that comes more under modern slang than the original usage thing. You know, because this is kind of a new thing. But you know, the original meanings of words, yeah, are very important because sound creates form in this reality, and Paleo-Hebrew is a language of creation, right? And when you and this is a long topic here. When you understand how Paleo-Hebrew works, you know, this is our language.
That's
yeah?
the original. You're talking the original language.
The original language of mankind.
Yeah.
It's our language. Yeah. When you see how it works, it literally fills you with joy. You know.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And you can see how it's the language of creation. It's switched off. Yeah, you haven't switched it up here.
Sorry. Yeah, it's what I found was fascinating when I was driving up, and you was talking about how the original language was like in pictures kind of thing, and just describe it. And I was there going, Forrest Gump, it's Forrest Gump.
Yeah, that's what I said. Some people are going to be listening and going, it's Forrest Gump.
Look at this Forrest Gump.
I just guessed it was Forrest Gump. I didn't know.
Right. Well, when you find out how it works, and yeah, maybe I'll just say a little bit about how it works.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. The word for father, yeah, is Abba. Okay. 2 letters, A and B. You know, A and Ba. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the letter A is a picture of an ox head. Yeah. Now the ox for the Hebrew was the strongest animal they knew.
Right.
So the letter A means strength, power, leadership, guidance, first. You know, all those things. Yeah. So just like the emoticons, the emojis.
Yeah.
You put them all together.
Yeah.
And the feeling that gives you is the meaning of that word. That
Right.
letter,
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. So strength, power, leadership first, and guidance, that sort of thing. Yeah. The letter B is the floor plan of a tent. They all used to live in tents. Yeah. So it's a floor plan of the tent, and it means home, house, family, bloodline.
Okay. Yeah.
So you put them together. A father is the strength, leadership, guidance of a family.
Right. Right.
So it's not just a label; it's a role. It's
Yeah.
a definition.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. It's when you hear the word. You know, if you were a Hebrew, you hear the word, you know
That's what it is. Yeah.
everything that encapsulates what a father is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Whereas the word in English is just a
It's
sound.
just one thing. Yeah.
It's sound.
Yeah.
It just means, you know, the progenitor of you know,
Yeah.
it's just it just doesn't mean anything.
Yeah. No.
Mother, yeah, Amma, strong water, yeah,
Right. Yeah.
which is glue,
yes.
the glue that binds a
Yes,
family
and
together.
Yeah. Yeah.
Without the two, a father leading, a mother binding,
Yeah. Yeah.
you don't have a family.
True. True.
The word for son, yeah, is ban, B-N, yeah.
Okay.
B is a floor plan, a
Yeah.
house, home, family, yeah.
Yeah.
N is a picture of a seedling with a little sprout, yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
It means continuation, bloodline, yeah. So what's the son? Continuation of the family.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
The sun.
Yeah,
It's good. It's good.
It's not only. Can you see what I'm saying?
Yes.
It's like it's almost.
It's
joyous.
more to it. It's yeah. It brings out the feelings, isn't it?
So
Because
it not only labels something, it defines something.
Yeah.
It creates.
Could I ask you what you would in terms of the schools that have produced the so-called leaders for this country, where they teach them grammar, and which is actually the study of how sentences are made up.
Yeah.
Would you be able to provide a school of thought, which the previous caller was asking for, that enables people to see the core stability in how the words can help them manage their home and as a business and as a future?
Sure. The only thing is that Paleo-Hebrew is a dead language. It's an intentionally killed language. Yeah. It's a language they don't want us to have,
No.
which is why they overlaid it with this fake Hebrew. Okay, because when you read the Bible, for instance, the Old Testament, I've got to stop calling it the Bible. When you read the Old Testament, yeah, you can look at the fake Hebrew to try and figure out what the words really mean, right? But that fake Hebrew doesn't give you the whole picture.
Right.
Yeah, if you use the only thing that survives of Paleo Hebrew really, as far as I can find, is the rules. Yeah, if you know the rules, then you can look at the fake Hebrew and then translate it into the.
Well, that's what we're
Paleo.
saying. We're saying that grammar schools teach you the rules of how sentences are built up and how you use all the other
Sure.
things. So the rules is it's the rules that we're talking about, and the whole form of ruling and governing is the whole process within everything that builds and continues to be maintained and sustained and preserved.
Sure.
So the rules are very important, both in the delivery of grammar and the delivery of the understanding the meaning of language.
Yeah, all I was trying to say is that I don't have all the answers. Yeah, I just
But we work it together, don't we? That's the whole point.
Yeah, so I'm just picking, sort of cobbling together little bits of information that I'm finding, and again, what I'm finding is joyous and amazing.
It's beautiful, yeah.
Yeah. So I'll give you an example of the deception here. Yeah. The word devil doesn't appear in the Old Testament.
Not at all.
Not at all. The word devils
Okay.
appears 4 times
In the Old Testament.
in the Old Testament.
But not devil.
Not devil, but devils. Yeah. So the word for devils is Sair, S-A apostrophe I-Y-R. Yeah. So when you look that up in the fake Hebrew, yeah, it tells you that that word means hairy, shaggy, demon-possessed goat, and satyr, which is half man, half goat.
Right.
Yeah. So from that you get an idea the devil was like Pan. You know.
Yes, yeah.
Okay. That's what. So you leave it there. Okay. That's all it says. Okay. But when you apply the rules of Paleo Hebrew to some of the other words, you find that there's another word called seer. S-E apostrophe I-Y-R. Well, again, applying the rules of Paleo Hebrew, there's no E in Paleo Hebrew.
Right.
The E is an A. So then you find that Sair and seer are the same word. So you can get the meaning, the meanings of seer, and add them to Sair.
Right.
And so you can get a fuller understanding of the word.
Yes.
So when you get the words for seer, again it means hairy, red, shaggy. It means Mount Seir. Yeah. And so when you look at what Mount Seir is, Mount Seir is where Esau, the brother of Jacob, went to live.
Right.
Yeah. That was his domain. Okay. So Esau was shaggy, hairy, red. Yeah. So it's telling you, and also there's another bit to it. IYR is a root word, and it means angel, fallen watcher class angel.
Right. Okay.
So it's telling you the devils are the children of Esau, who mixed with the fallen angels.
Yes.
Yeah. It's just amazing. Yeah. When you follow, it's like a scavenger hunt. When you follow it, you find out, and it's brilliant. But yeah, that's what one of the ways you can literally translate the words. So this way.
Okay. Sister, if you've got any more question?
The last one is not on the topic of language. It's more on the topic of the way that the pharmaceutical industry has used urine, sweat, and everything else in the healing process, but called it a different name. I've just wondered.
I see what you're saying. Yes.
Yeah, because if we have salicylic acid looks at the way animals have licked themselves and basically spit. You have lots of different things. You have urine and lots of other animal excreta that has been put into stuff, but it's called a new name. And I just wondered if the humble man and your beautiful self, Dougie, could maybe explore that further.
Well, there's only one. There's only one. So this the King of Kings, the laws of love, the conquering lion inside the host here. So, any question you put to this King of King man. So yes, also for Queen as well. But yes, you know, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, come through there.
Okay, I can talk about that. Most people have already done urine therapy, at least half of it, and that is if you've ever used any moisturizers or skin creams, skin lotions, anything like that. If you look at the label, you'll probably find urea, uric acid, or something that tells you it's.
So
it's
all
urine.
of those is urine?
Yes, all of those have got urine in them.
Urine from what?
Usually cows and pigs and horses and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. Obviously, your own urine is better for you.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the only moisturizer is urine, because when you massage your urine into your skin, it absorbs into your skin.
Okay.
Your skin doesn't let anything absorb into it easily. Yeah. But urine, it will let in. So it's the only moisturizer.
Because I make my
And
own
spit, and
products
spit.
for years.
And
Spit.
spit, yes, spit,
Spit,
and
salicylic
bodily
acid.
fluids.
Salicylic acid.
Yes. The other thing about the medical establishment is that I'll give you one example. There's a product, well, two examples actually. One product called Uricanase. Yeah, it's made by a company called Enzymes of America, and they have a subsidiary company called Portajon.
Yeah.
Portaloo.
Oh my gosh.
So what they do is they collect
collect it.
men's urine, they
No
filter it,
way.
and they sell it back to us as a highly expensive uricanase, which is a blood thinner. Yeah? For real.
Oh God.
And for women, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, for hormone replacement therapy,
Yeah.
I think the most popular drug is called Premarin. Yeah. It stands for pregnant mare urine.
Wow.
So they actually make horses pregnant, and they collect their urine and they sell it back to you as hormone replacement therapy.
Wow.
Again, your own urine is better for you.
I was going to
replace
say,
your
yeah.
hormones.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
It is.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You're
Thank
welcome.
you for
We
that.
hope to hear from you anymore. God bless everybody on Bless FM,
Yeah.
the sisters, Brother Dougie, Brother Dave.
Thank you.
Thank you, and hope to hear from you soon.
You're
Okay,
welcome.
No
Thank you.
problem. Thanks for the questions. Yeah.
You're
Okay then.
welcome. Thank you. Bye.
All right. What we do now, though, is I know Dave will be putting that very shortly because they know he's have a full schedule. I mean, obviously, I get no Dave. You get up early in the morning time. What time you get up?
Oh, I get up. I wake up very early. I only need 4 hours sleep at the most.
Only
so,
4 hours sleep the most.
Yeah.
Okay then. Let's take this call here. Greetings.
Hello, good evening.
Yeah, greetings.
Yeah, I've been listening to the program. It's extremely interesting to hear some of this information. Is this live?
Yeah, you're live, man.
Yeah. Well, you know, interesting. Some of the thing about urine and also all the information about travelling as opposed to driving, etc. Right? But one thing that was said, which I found very interesting, and I'd like to talk about, is regarding this Judaism business, yeah, right, or the whole Judaic language, which has got so much information. Now, you know, one of the things that, and I hope this is going to be positive, yeah. One of the things that has struck me, right, because I've realised, you know, I've been a Jew all my life as a black man, yeah, but what I've actually realised, right, is that you know, we would like to use, which has happened before, we would like to use all the positive things about Judaism, right, or information to sort of help us, you know, like understanding our language and how language works, etc., right? But away from that, it's no use to black people because we will not apply the full context of what it is, because it's directly a spiritual link as well, right? So for instance, now we talk about a community, yeah, about how to create a community, which has always been a massive problem amongst black people, right? Now imagine what would happen if on a Saturday, for instance, yeah, people go out to the market and they don't see any black people out there. They're going to think, where are the black people? Yeah. But when and then the Sunday now, all the black people come out to start their week, right? And they see one another, and oh, what my brethren, and this and that, and blah blah blah. And immediately you've got a community, you've got economic activities working together, right? And you've got it's remarkable what could happen if we only realise that the information that we've fed in this country or all over the world, right, is to prevent us from actually coming back together. And I'll show you what I mean by that, for instance. Yeah? We fail to understand that education is actually here to prevent us from realising that our lands have been taken. Yeah? And because our lands have been taken is why we have all the problems we have. Right? In other words, it seems that somehow black people don't seem to understand the value of land. Yeah, they, people talking about, money come first, yeah. But think about it, money comes from land, yeah. So you can't take money and buy land, yeah. So all these countries that they're allowing other people to come in and buy land, they're acting illegally, yeah. You cannot sell burial ground or land where your parents have been buried or your ancestors have been buried, yeah. And I'm praying myself, right, because I've actually done some work myself, right, on some of the problems that we have. And one of the things that we have, for instance, now, I don't want to talk and quick crossing, but one of the things that we have, right, is intergenerational disjuncture. Yeah, intergenerational disjuncture means that we cannot pass information from one generation to another generation, yeah? Because, we've got the educational system which is imposed between those two generations, yeah? And, what we seem not to understand that our children only listen to the people that teach them, which is their teachers.
Yeah, well, my brother, I'm just, do you have a specific question to ask the brother, or?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I've got a foot problem at the moment. Yeah, I mean, I cut my toenail, and it seems that the toenail was infected. Yeah, but anyway, I got a black man's pinch when I cut the toe because the scissor hanger broke, and it left a black man's pinch, and that's been troubling me for weeks and weeks and weeks. I haven't got diabetes, by the way. I've been through doctors and got pills and etc. Blah blah blah, and we heard about the disguising the symptoms. Now, how could I use urine in that situation? Can I just put urine on the and they said it was dry gangrene actually, right? When it actually, because the toenail actually came off in the end, yeah, because it had to come off because an African nurse at the hospital said, look, wrote a letter and said, tell your doctor that this has to be seen by a surgeon or a chiropodist or whatever, because the nail has to come off, otherwise it won't heal. Yeah.
So what's your question?
I've been through processes. I've been in the hospital with it, etc., to have it examined. Right now, the senses are still there. Right, it's still. I can feel all the nerves are still there, and the actual surgeon said that. Well, what we'll do is we'll give it some strong antibiotics.
Did you want
right,
to know
and
how
watch
to
it
do
for a
it?
couple of days. Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah,
what's the question, so brother? Every quite specific.
Another question. Did you want?
Huh?
Did you want to hear the answer, or did you want to tell me what the medical system told you?
No. I'm just trying to fill you with the information so that you've got a clear picture of what I've been told. So that might help.
If you were listening to me, I don't really take what the medical system really tells you. I don't really rate what they say.
Acknowledge.
Right. So if you want to know what to do about your toe, yeah, use what we call a urine pack. Yeah. So you get a clean rag or a dressing, okay, and you soak it in your first morning urine. Place it over the toe, and wrap it in place with cling film.
Wrap it in place. Yes.
Yes, and so it doesn't leak, and then keep it moist with additional applications of urine. Okay. And do that for as long as possible. So one way would be to put this on before you go to bed at night, and take off in the morning, and do it again for the next few days, and it should heal up nicely.
Yeah. So you remember what I said? They said that it was dry gangrene, yeah?
I don't really care what they said it is.
Oh, fair enough, my Bridget. I'm just double checking, yeah?
Yep.
So
I helped somebody with gangrene. It was fully blown gangrene, where the doctor basically messed up a blood clot operation and caused the leg to become gangrenous. The person was given 3 months to live, and less if he didn't get treatment. And the only treatment available was to lose the leg and have a 50% survival rate. And he didn't like those odds, so he went home. And the doctor basically said, if you don't have this, you'll be dead within 3 months. The guy phoned me up. I told him what to do. Basically, he had a huge gash in his leg. Half of it had turned black, and it was a deep wound, basically, which wouldn't close up. So I told him to pour urine into the hole.
Okay.
And put a urine pack over the top of it and keep it. Now he went through a severe healing crisis, severe pain, but within about 4 months, he sent me the pictures. The gangrene fell off, and there was bright pink flesh underneath, and it started closing up until it left a tiny mark.
Wow.
Oh God, that's fantastic.
Yeah,
that is fantastic. And last word, if I may, right, is that if we look back at our history, right, we can see indications of a highly developed civilization in terms of medicines, like the urine is one example, and the bushes that we use for certain things in the West Indies, which it's all coming to light now in the medical world, right? But that indicates a highly sophisticated and developed civilization.
Can I direct you? Sorry,
I wish we could all try and concentrate our minds to try and go back to that.
Yeah, can I direct you to a video on my YouTube channel called Black Man, Do You Know Who You Are? And it might give you a bit more insight into our history and what actually happened to us. And I wanted to speak a little bit to what you were saying earlier, about the Judaism. Well, first of all, we do not belong in Judaism. We do not belong in any religion. Right? We didn't have a religion, we had a way of life. And what happened was that our enemies took that way of life, detailed in what they call the Old Testament, which is actually known as the Book of Remembrance. It's in Malachi. They took the Book of Remembrance, they put their own book on top of it, and they've done that with many religions. They put their own book upon it, and then created a religion around it. Okay.
Yeah.
Judaism did not exist until the 9th century, when the Khazarians decided to convert to something they called Judaism, which is a mix of paganism and Talmudism. So you, as a black man, had better get out of that pretty damn quick. Because
well, can I just add something to that, right? Because I'm actually a writer, right, in philosophy. Now, what we need to do is we need to go back to the basics. Now, the fact about it is, when you say that you said that Judaism was a language of creation.
Can't hear
you. Which is deep. But what we got to remember is this, right? You say that other people grabbed hold of the religion, right? God actually, the syllogism.
You've become muffled.
God only made one religion, and He gave it to Adam in the Garden of Eden. All other religion is man-made. And if you look at Judaism, or the purist, the Sabbath aspect, right, that is where the religion is. So I can't really sort of accept that we're not spiritual beings and we shouldn't acknowledge. Just because other people have grabbed hold of Judaism, right, and disguised it from us. Right, I mean, God only made the black man, as far as I know.
Wait.
God only made the black man, right? And He gave him a religion.
Hold on, Bridget. Hold on.
I never said anything about us not being spiritual. We are spiritual because at one point we had a direct line of communication with the Most High Creator of all things. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. Religion is a man-made creation by the same people. They created
No.
all religions. Yeah.
No.
Okay.
No. No, it's not true.
Brethren.
Yeah, I do, but I'm just saying I dispute
Hold on a
that.
second, right? You wanted the brother to
Yeah,
to
carry on, let him
hold
talk.
on a second, right? When you disagree, right? Don't interrupt the brother like that, right? These are our guests,
No.
right?
Yeah, I'm glad to hear it, but I'm just saying that theoretically...
Bridget,
All you say is that you don't agree.
Yeah, just say you don't agree. I made the brother speak, and then you can make your reason after, right? But don't come this thing about...
All right,
no.
well, I'll say it this way. It's impossible that God didn't make a religion, all right? Carry on.
Just so you don't agree.
It's impossible.
Hold on, Bridget. We don't reason so, you know. We don't reason so. So if
We don't really reason, do we?
No, hold on, Bridget. Let me get quite clear, because if not, we have to just cut you off. We don't reason so. Make the brother reason, right? And then come with your reason. Don't come this thing about just no, sir. We don't.
You
we don't
either
behave
agree
like
or
that.
you disagree.
Yeah. So in fact, yeah, just finish what you're doing, and brother, just humble yourself for a second. Finish what you're doing.
What I was saying was that we did not have a religion. We had a way of life, and the reason we are in the state that we are in is written in the Old Testament. Yeah, we were supposed to be the Most High's ambassadors on this earth. We were held to a standard. Yeah, we were held to a covenant. We made a blood covenant with the Most High. That's in Exodus. Yeah, and we were told if we were to adhere to that covenant, we would be blessed. Yeah, if we failed to adhere to that covenant, we were going to get cursed. We were cursed 6 times. Yeah, we still didn't learn our lesson, right? And we did it a 7th time. And the main event in the Old Testament, the Book of Remembrance, is that final captivity. It was going to be the worst, the most terrible captivity, and it was going to last the longest, 400 years. Yeah, and that's what's happening.
That's what we're in now.
Yeah, it's what we're in now. We're coming to the end of. Yeah, so no, we didn't have a religion. Religion is a doctrine. Yeah,
that is man-made,
imposed upon us. Yeah. Christianity was imposed upon, beaten into our ancestors. Yeah, yeah, and now our ancestors
take it on as if it's
passed it on, and now there are people who believe this stuff. Yeah, and for no other reason than they were told it. That's it. And I think the guy's gone in it.
Yeah. Okay then, Aunty, can you give the live link number, please?
Live link number is 07944 431 366. I repeat, 07944 43 1366.
Okay then. So inside the house we have the great man Dave inside the house inside the house, and also let people know that he's got enough information upon his YouTube channel. I've been going on there practically every single day from last week. It's D Murphy 25 as his YouTube channel, and it's got a lot of information talking about different subject matter concerning we as African people. Also talking about urine therapy. It's got enough extensive information around that, and there's so much information. Also, Dave, let people know about your book, please.
Okay, my book is called The Human Body Owner's Workshop Manual, and it's available from lulu.com. That's lulu.com, and Amazon, but don't get it from Amazon because they're evil. But I'm sorry, I get a little passionate about that because our people are being led down the garden path by Christians and pastors and all these religions. The Book of Remembrance says that when we go into that final captivity, we would follow strange gods of wood and stone. The 2 religions that have captivated our people are the wooden cross and the Kaaba stone. Both created by the same people. and they're doing exactly what the book said they do. They're capturing us, and they're leading us to worship strange gods. Yeah, and there's a reason why, thou shalt have no other gods before me is the first commandment.
Yes.
It's the most important one.
Yeah.
And especially this Jesus character. Yeah, there's word magic involved. Sorry.
No.
Don't forget about that.
Just someone like greetings.
Yeah, tonight still in the name of the King of Kings and the Empress Menin and Kadamawi Haile Selassie Jah
Rastafari. Give that.
Yeah, beloved, yeah, man, we give thanks and praise for here the eye over the other side. That's most beautiful, that the eye there over Dessa and over Dessa as well. Yeah, so because that's really a beautiful situation that should really be going around throughout the whole of all the radio stations, that interaction, that amalgamation.
We have to bring this man over the place, make people know what I'm going, because this man here, he is special. First time when I come to the
Amen. Each one in the studio still said words.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, well,
yeah, beloved, yeah, man, we will give thanks. As the sister said, the brother is just blessedly full with a whole heap of iration to share with the nation and strengthen up our situation. And I would like to just add several, really, I had a question, yeah, because, it's like, indeed, you hear me said yesterday, so, well, yeah, I was blessed to, I think it's more than 4 or 5 years that I've had the knowledge of Brother Dave, and I know, so I've shared with everyone still that I have a contact to, so that they've been led to the information through a link called Distilled Water Secrets UN might not want you to know, but not even Mike does not want you to know. So my premise is that I myself, I'm informed, and I've given everyone else the opportunity to be informed. What was going to ask Dave is, like, I've not so much witness, but because I definitely, but through my own application and results, I myself clearly know that the water of life, is very, very real in manifesting good produce. I mean, well, yeah, good results. Yeah. So I was going to ask the question, because I never heard it or seen it anyway. Regarding MS, multiple sclerosis, there.
Yeah.
Yeah. If him ever really. Have you ever encountered several, MS really get battered down with the orange?
Absolutely. I've over the past 5 years or so, I've helped something around the region of 1,000 people, and
Rastafari.
various things, including MS, and yes, it reverses all these neurological, issues. I can't really tell you exactly how long it takes, because everybody is different. All dealing with different toxic load. So, but
okay. Sorry, go ahead. Sorry, Bridget, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say it's literally the same process that I've described before. That four things. Get rid of the poison. Stop poisoning yourself. Right. Change your diet to all fruit. Get rid of the poison that's already in you with distilled water and urine therapy. Give your body the energy it needs to do the job with fasting. And change the way you think. Because I think I've covered it over this talk, that, the things you say affect, not only affect the world, it affects you directly. Yeah, the things you think, the way you think, has a direct effect on your body. So if you change the way you think, you will stop getting in your own way, as far as the healing is concerned. And even if you heal yourself, if you don't change the way you think, you're going to re-trigger it later, because all disease starts with the mind.
It's true. Yes, Dr. Jewel, I learned that from Dr. Jewel Pulcrum. I hear you. Okay. I check that. Can I interact again?
Yeah, man, come through, man.
Yeah, can I hear what? It's like, can I say it? Cause, like, listen, I myself personally, I know Dave, I'm sure you know about Mr. J.W. Armstrong, yes,
Yes,
indeed.
of course, yeah.
Yeah, and so I myself personally have listened to the audio book at least more than 10 times myself personally, or more. So basically, I'm quite conscious and aware of the protocols. And I do know someone or some ones, or more than ones, who have, you know, these challenges, whether it be that one, but, you know, MS and other situations, yeah? And what I brought to them still was that what Mr. Armstrong detailed was that the fasting on the orange directly and just drinking water. Is that what you advocated with the persons you've helped?
Well, that's one approach. Most people don't really need to go that far to do the like urine fast. I actually did a urine fast, a 30-day urine fast, as an experiment. So, and it did amazing things for me. But for people who are suffering from really serious issues, or they've let themselves go too far, yeah, the last thing I get them to do is, you know, a 14 to 30-day urine fast, because it is very powerful.
Right. So tell me, you know, one time, you know, it's like sorry, go ahead. Sorry, have you finished?
Yeah. Sorry. I was going to say one more thing. You mentioned John Armstrong.
Yeah, who's John Armstrong?
Yeah, he wrote the book Water of Life.
The Water of Life.
Yeah.
Okay, then.
And it's you can probably find it on the web, you know, and an audio book. The one phrase that I'll take from that book that's you know, that I use an awful lot is that John Armstrong described urine as liquid flesh and bone.
Oh man!
Because that's what it does. If you cut yourself and you know you need, you know, it's a huge cut that needs stitches, you think, you know, you just pour urine on there and it will heal up. It's like liquid flesh and bone. You know. So yeah, sorry. Carry on. What were you going to say?
Yes, yeah, indeed. Thank you. I was going to say that. Do forgive me, because I myself have just, I've been on a journey. I've been on a journey which, you know, through my mama, God bless and rest her soul, you know, Claudette Nurse, who did have the MS, you know, critically bad. I tell people, say, well, on a scale of 1 to 10, my mother did up on scale 10, you know, deaf on her back and can't do nothing. And, well, you know, she could breathe and she could look at me and she could eat, but, you know, that was it, really. And she was released from the hospital, and basically, Rastafari blessed me to find out about Professor Sally a couple months later. And I got my mum on that vibration that's really revived mum from 10 to 4 or 5. But my point is then now say, well, you know, I've just been consistently, like, you know, me personally, you know, I've been, yeah, excuse me, forgive me, losing track, because it's like, when I share to tell you, say, well, you know, them say me have some PTSD within my own self here right now, because I'm a man who served in this British Army over here, so I've been through certain things because I've served. Okay. And, you know, and a lot of things have gone where, I say, the information that I've been receiving from since 1999, Professor Sally, and I said the pinnacle of my knowledge from researching continually, Dr. Sabi, Dr. Jewel Pookram, and many names I can mention. The distilled waters to me has been the pinnacle so far of my knowledge, within the healing situation, and it is just a real blessing, and I give thanks that you are here, my brethren, and doing what you're doing, because, you know, I would love to have been doing it myself, because it's like I have the knowledge, and I have indeed shared it with all those who know I have their number, they've received it, you know. And you know, the thing is, in like caring for my mother for 10 years, yeah, I can tell you, sir, you can lead people to the water, but you can't force them to drink it. People know that, yes?
Yes, exactly.
You know, so this is the situation. So I'm just glad that you're there, affirming that which I've put to the people them already.
Well, the other thing you can do for your mother to bring her back...
No, sorry, beloved, stop. My mama did pass on now since 2010 with pancreatic cancer, sadly. Okay. And it's, you know...
Well, I'll tell you that my mother, she's 75. She was in a wheelchair for 10 years. She was she had a back problem, a crumbling back for 50 years. So she's been in pain for 50 years. She was riddled with arthritis and had digestive problems, high blood pressure, a few other things as well. So I put her on urine therapy, distilled water, and a few other things. And within a year and a half, she was out of a wheelchair. Her back repaired itself, and now she's walking around. She's still got a problem with her knee because they actually did surgery on her knee. And when the doctors go in and start hacking and cutting and cauterizing and stuff, the body can't come back from that. So she's still got a problem with her knee, but she's walking around like my sister, and now she looks like she's in her 40s.
Wow. Rastafari. Well, blessing and honor to you, my brother. I mean, let me say, my mother was doing very well, with the Marion Dina story, and here what in 2010, it's like boom. Jaundice came our way, and boom, them have her in the hospital, put a stint in her, boom, next thing you know, so I say, whoa, pancreatic cancer, next thing you know, boom, couple months go by, 4 months, boom, she gone, and it's like, I man get mashed up.
The other thing you've got to realise is that in this country, they have a thing called the Liverpool Care Pathway, okay? Now, as amazing as this might sound, if you're old and there's nobody who looks like they're interested in you, what they'll do is they'll trank you up on morphine and then stop giving you food and water, and they end up dying, right? And then they'll phone up the relatives. Oh, they died in their sleep, and blah. But they die in pain because it's a real thing. It's called the Liverpool Care Pathway. So
I heard that.
So I
heard that.
So can we go online? We get information. Can we go online and get information?
Just put Liverpool Care Pathway in, and you'll see that people found out about it, so they changed the name. So
well, I know, sir. Sorry, can I come in?
Yeah, come true, man. Come true, my brother.
Yeah, let me mention this lady, which I'm sure Dave knows the lady, because I know Dave is connected with this world there. Martha Christie.
Yes, her book is
listen,
what's the name of the book?
I go and say, saying that through Sylvia Chandler, Andrew Norton Webber, saying we get to link up with Martha Christie, the lady who had endometriosis and suffered for 3 decades, as you know. And then, them want to take out her womb, and she said, no, and she held out until she got the blessing for finding out about the urine therapy, what they call urine. And, she get healed up, and the daughter saw amazed, blows back, and then she said, boy, I have to go study what go on, and she write the book called Your Own Perfect Medicine, as I know, Mr. Dave.
So you're reading about Own Perfect Medicine, yeah?
Your Own Perfect Medicine.
Okay.
Watch, I tell you, say, let me tell you, say, because I heal up I had hay fever, you see, I had mole, I had some hardcore athlete's feet, I had herpes, seeing, right? And when me then at the park, I read her book. You don't know how much me cry, Bridget, when me overstand so well, the orange, you just drink that and start out the jaundice, no problem, you know what I mean? And all these things. If it wasn't that me a Rastafari youth, enough people would have dead, may I tell you, sir. You understand me? Saying, why not say judgment must come upon them who intentionally and knowingly hurt I people, even the little children, or even anyone, because everyone are human, everyone are being from the Almighty. Nobody not come here by Satan. So listen, love, honor, and respect to the eye, and
the book of
all in the house.
The Book of Remembrance. The Book of Remembrance says, "My people die from lack of knowledge."
Yes, and they eat up my people as they eat up bread daily. You see that? You don't know that. And I'm glad how that brethren. Sorry.
No, I just said exactly.
Yes, and I'm glad how that brethren brought in the Hebrew situation that you made a interaction with, and this is the whole situation, beloved. You know what I mean? It is, as you know, and enough know, but all of us don't know, because I mean, when I used to be walking around with a big SLR and I do duty, I never know who I be as I do this day. As me I go tell you, me Ethiopian, Hebrew, Israelite, somebody, me not take that back. See? And it's all about I and I as a people and as a nation, because we're not black. Me now got admit, I have a T-shirt which say I am black, but the T-shirt is actually black because it have Africa in its blackness. But
Can I say something
black.
about that? Can I say something about that? The word black actually means white.
Yes.
Yeah,
That wouldn't surprise me at all.
Yeah.
If you look at the Anglo-Saxon word, yeah, the word black comes from the word BLAC and BLAEC, which means pale, brighten, light, leprous. You know, so it's a root word of bleach, blank, and the French word for white is blanc. Yeah. It's so you can see where it's originally came from, and because of the word leprous, it had a lot of negative connotations.
Right.
So literally, they just flipped the script and put it on us.
Yeah.
Amen. I'm glad how you did. Can I come in there?
Yeah, man, come true.
Yeah, I'm glad how you did share with them about the nice, because watch out. I was reasoning with my brethren, Rusty. I done is the far eye of the line. I do the society over there, so in Brooklyn, USA, seeing which from what time give thanks and praises, rise I spirit up in the iration where I had the opportunity of studying to show myself approved and lining up myself in the order and how I should be. Yeah, he's the one. When I reasoned with him one day, a couple of years ago, me drop the word nice for them and say, hold up. He say, wait, you know what I mean? It's nice, isn't it? And then him explain to me, say, it's root etymology. That's the thing, etymology, the etymology of the word, the beginning, the root, meaning of it. There's somebody in a state of ignorance, And then when I look, and if anybody know about, them nice biscuits, what them have out there with glistening sugar on it. You have to be nice to be eating that, innit? Because you don't know what you are doing.
See, I like that one there. Yeah.
They have nice biscuit, NICE biscuits out there, but you have only for the biscuit. And watch, me a sugar addict myself there right about now from long time, Bridget. So we've all grown that way. We've grown with the Marison and the Mars and the Snickers and the Kit Kats and the da. But you have to just Toblerone or whichever one, But and it's still going down there for the youths. Them you can go in at the Sainsbury's or Tesco's or whichever one of them local shop. And sugar cheap like that. But as you know, say sugar worse than crack and cocaine.
It's true.
So Dr. Joe Pooker show me from what time. True. The chemical composition is just that of crack and cocaine, and people find it hard to get off that thing they call sugar. So yeah, listen, let me take over the time. Thank you very much for receiving me. Okay. And your guidance and protection in Jesus Christ's name to each and every one. We pray so you receive it. Amen.
Okay, then give
Thanks
that.
Good night.
Okay then. All right then, because I know that Dave did said he want to put up about 11ish.
Time's running.
Yeah.
It's gone, innit?
Half past 11.
Half past 11. Yeah, that's what I mean. You just get carried away because people want to come in on you, Dave. You're a big time celebrity still. So we take liberty with the brother, but we have to use our social discretion. Right. So what we want to do now, we want to put this Auntie got a burning question she wants to ask Dave.
No, I'm looking in your book.
Yeah.
The book called, is it The Human Body?
The Human Body
Owner's Workshop Manual. Yes. That broken bones. You can cure broken bones with urine.
Yeah, they heal up a lot faster.
Wow. I mean, I always thought that. I know you have to use a splint, but I didn't think that you could use urine and
put in the
place a urine pack.
Yeah,
yes.
there's
that's in his book, yeah.
Yeah, this is
Oh, okay.
There's a testimonial in one of the testimonials about somebody who it was more than a sprain. It was like they had a skiing accident,
right?
And the leg was in serious pain, and he didn't believe in urine. But his wife basically,
she did
put a urine pack on there, wrapped it in a hot towel, and he was able to walk on it almost immediately. And I can't remember the details.
But with the broken bones bit, Is it best to use the person who's broken the bones urine, or does it any urine will do? Because I mean,
it's always best to use. It's always best to use your own.
Yeah.
But somebody else's will do.
Okay.
The only thing when you're using somebody else's urine for, for some issue, it's best to be the same sex.
Okay.
Even better if you're blood relative.
Right.
But if you use if I used like your urine to help me, if I was using it long term, I might grow breasts or.
It's got that.
It's got
potent. Is that helpful?
Hormones.
Yeah, that powerful.
But but that only happens if you use it long term.
Yeah, and constantly.
Yeah.
Okay. And you've also got remedies for sores, blistered, chapped hands, acne, eczema, poisoning, splinters, infections, sore throats.
You name it. In the back, there's a reference section of all the so-called diseases.
Wow.
As I say, there aren't separate diseases.
It's one.
It's only one disease.
It's just different parts of the body, isn't it?
Yeah,
they name it different.
Health.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this methodology that I go through in my book.
Yeah.
Isn't to target a particular disease. Yeah, it's literally just raising the general health of the person so that the symptoms just disappear because they're not needed anymore.
Right.
That's it.
You also have reference to distilled water. I mean, how would you use that? And is there a good place where you can get distilled water to buy?
The best way, in this country it's very difficult getting hold of distilled water. The best way to do it is to buy a water distiller.
Okay.
And the best one I've found is actually the cheapest one. It's about 80 quid, 60 to 80 quid.
Okay.
And it does a gallon, 4 litres in about 2.5-3 hours. So yeah, it's basically you replace all the water you drink with distilled water. And the reason why you do that is because all sources of water, like tap water, bottled water, mineral water, they all have minerals in them. And that might sound like a good thing, but what they don't tell you is that there are 2 types of minerals. Okay, and doctors will tell you, don't drink distilled water because it's going to leach the minerals out of your bones and you'll get osteoporosis and blah 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 blah. Yeah, but as I said, they don't tell you there are 2 types of minerals. Yeah, inorganic and organic. Okay?
Right.
You're made up of organic living minerals.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Inorganic minerals are rock and dirt, essentially. Yeah. The chalk in your the calcium in your bones is not chalk. Yeah. It might chemically be the same, but it's different.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what distilled water does is it dissolves and locks into itself inorganic minerals. Okay. So we know that intuitively because when you wash your clothes in water, the rock and dirt comes off the clothes and stays in the water.
Yes, yeah.
But it doesn't touch blood stains, grass stains, sweat stains, because they're organic.
Yeah,
yeah.
Yeah.
So when you drink it, what it does, it pulls out inorganic, minerals that your body doesn't know what to do with. So when you drink, tap water, bottled water, mineral water, your body doesn't know what to do with that inorganic matter, so it literally deposits it around the body.
Right.
So when it gets into the soft areas between the joints, that's arthritis.
Yeah.
Your joints turn to stone, just like furring up a kettle. Yeah. When it gets into your arteries, that's heart disease and strokes. When it gets into your eyes, that's cataracts and glaucoma. Yeah. When it gets into your kidneys, it's kidney stones, gallbladder, gallstones, so on and so on. Yeah. Just to get rid of all those things, you just drink distilled water, 4 gallons 4 litres a day. Okay. You try and get it to 4 litres a day, then after a month or 2, you'll find that arthritis disappears. So,
is this a machine that you can get?
Yes, it's a tabletop machine. Looks like a big kettle. Yeah. And all it does is it boils water. So you put any water in there. Put tap water in there. It boils the water, turns it to steam, and then condenses the steam back into water.
Okay.
So anything that's in the water
Yeah.
remains in the bottom of the distiller.
Okay. Are they easy to get hold of?
Yeah, go to the heated Amazon. You'll find them there. Or my friend has a website called Make Water Pure, and it's on my website actually. You can find a link
And
to.
could you give us your website details?
My
please?
website is www.allegedlydave.com, and if anybody is sick with anything, and they want help, they're not finding help anywhere else, then they can contact me at dave@allegedlydave.com, and I help for free.
Okay, just let people know that Dave will be at the event on the 15th of July at Chestnut Community Centre. So he'll be there sharing some words with us. With sorry. You want to say
Okay, yeah, I was just going to say, because my mum keeps telling me to say this. I do things for free, but I do take donations. If anybody finds value in what I do, I take donations.
Well, it's about, I was going to say, Dave, it's about value. So this free thing, we have to really word it some other way. It's about value, but people do take advantage. Yeah. So, yeah. So he will be at Chestnut Community Centre. That's on the 15th of July. At the 5th of July, and the time is from 4 to 8. So Sunday, the 5th of July. It's a free event, but again, it's a free event. See, Linda will speak earlier on. We were talking about diabetes. Vasco will be there talking about prostate. We have a sister called Juice who'll be talking about juicing and how we reverse the other thing about diabetes. And also we have Dave who will be touching the other thing about health and urine therapy, and just giving a general talk around health. See, also we have Sister Juliet who will be talking about the pools of education. So that's the fact we're looking to get as many people to come down and get the information. See, and a lot of time and energy is put into this. And also, well, we're going to talk about Aunty Jean, because hopefully Dave will be speaking at one of Aunty Jean's event, probably in the near future. We wanted to get him on the 8th of July, but he's got some family commitment, I understand, on that day, so he won't be able to come down for that. I think. So what we're going to do now, we can go on and on and on. We need to put a pin here, so we can have a break, and then I need to get Aunty Jean to talk a bit more about her event and what's been happening as well. And Aunty Jean, Aunty is still asking them intelligent question, you know what I mean? But we have to cut it as Aunty Jean, Yeah. So, we'll be here for hours and hours and hours, and poor Dave won't get no rest at all, So we don't want to mash him up, you know what I mean? I think so.
We are the hands, do I desire? What will bring me to my highest good? Prosperity, prosperity, I claim it, I claim it. Abundance, abundance is mine, is mine. Love, love flows through me, flows through me. I feel joy, all the time, all the time. I can have it, I can have it. I deserve it, I deserve it. I claim it, it is mine, it is mine. I can have it, I can have it. I deserve it, I deserve it. I am it, I am it. It is mine, it is mine. Peace, peace fills my heart, fills my heart. I surrender, everything, everything. Health, health is my birthright, is my birthright. Passion, passion helps me sing, helps me sing. I can have it, I can have it. I deserve it, I deserve it. I claim it, it is mine, it is mine. I can have it, I can have it. I deserve it, I deserve it. I am it, I am it. It's my time, it's my time. Break it on down. Anything I want, anything I desire, anything that brings me to my highest good. Anything I want, anything I desire, anything that brings me to my highest good. I release, and let go, I accept, what is mine, I can have, what I want, and let spirit, direct the flow. Life is good, life is fun, life is great, this song is done.
Today, we are surrounded by millions of self-made millionaires, thousands of multi-millionaires, and almost 200 billionaires, virtually every one of whom began with nothing and achieved their fortunes in one generation. And whatever others have done, you can do as well, if you find out what they did and you do exactly the same things over and over again until you achieve the same results. One of the great secrets of success has always been learn from the experts. As a wise man once told me, Brian, he said, find out what other successful people have done and then do the same thing. You will never live long enough to figure it all out for yourself. The very fact that you are taking your precious time to listen to this program means that you are a member of the elite. You are one of the top 10%, perhaps even the top 5% of men and women in our society today. Now forget about your current income or financial situation for a moment. Just remember the great rule. It doesn't matter where you're coming from. All that really matters is where you're going. Where you are going in life is determined by what you are doing at this moment. And what you are doing right now is that you are learning how to apply the same success principles that have been used by hundreds of thousands and millions of men and women, even people from other countries with no money, no friends, no language skills, no education, no contacts, and no resources to build wonderful lives for themselves. And what others have done, you can do as well. In the information age, knowledge is the raw material of success. The more you learn, the more you earn. In the information age, your ability to think well about yourself, your life, your work, and your relationships is the critical determinant of how much success and satisfaction you'll enjoy in each of those areas. The better you think, the better results you get. The better results you get, the better you feel and the happier you are. The better you feel and the happier you are, the more effective you are with other people, and the more they want to work with you and be associated with you. The more and better friends, associates, and contacts you have, the more doors that open for you. The more you're paid, and the faster you'll be promoted. Your life gets onto an upward spiral that eventually enables you to enjoy one of the highest standards of living in our society. That's what this program is all about. There's only one thing necessary for you to make these ideas work. It is that you accept complete responsibility for yourself and for everything that happens to you in life. This is one of the most difficult and yet one of the most important steps that you ever take in moving onto the high road of success and happiness. The issue of personal responsibility is the major personal, social, cultural, and economic issue of our day. In our society, and in every society, there's always a small minority of men and women like yourself who accept responsibility for everything they are and everything that they will ever become. These are the people who own the future. These are the people who take complete control of their own lives and their own destinies. The vast majority of people, unfortunately, take only small amounts of responsibility and, in too many cases, they take no responsibility at all. The vast majority of people feel that they are victims of forces over which they have no control. They blame their problems on their parents, their past, their bosses, their families, their bills, and other people or factors in society. The fact is that everyone has problems and difficulties in life. Most of us have had difficult childhoods and many problems in our earlier years. Nonetheless, we are where we are, and we are what we are because of our own choices and our own decisions today. We are where we are and what we are because of the things that we have done and often the things that we have failed to do. The people of tomorrow, the men and women of the 21st century, the knowledge workers like yourself who work with their minds, their skills, their abilities, are the ones who own the future because they take responsibility for it. This acceptance of complete responsibility for your life is the key to seeing yourself as the president of the company, You, Inc. It is only when you cross this mental threshold that the entire world opens up for you. It's only when you accept complete responsibility for yourself that all of the principles and concepts you're about to learn have real meaning for you. It is only when you see yourself as an economic and social adult and leave behind the complaints and excuses of economic and social children that you begin rapidly to move to the top of your field. Now, what are you responsible for? Well, let's look at a few things. First of all, you are responsible for your income. Over the long term, you determine exactly the amount of money that you make from your work. The good news is that if you're not happy with your income for any reason, you are free to increase it, to double it or triple it in the months and years ahead. We're living in a society of incredible abundance, and there's no restriction on how much you can earn. All you have to do is find out who else is earning as much as you want to earn, and then do the same things he or she is doing until you achieve the same income level. You are responsible for your health. You are responsible for your level of fitness, your weight, your energy levels, your appearance, and virtually everything about your physical person over which you have complete control. You're responsible for your relationships, for your emotions, your reactions, your responses, and your behaviors with other people. Nobody makes you think, say, or feel anything. The way you behave is always the result of a specific choice or a failure to choose on your part. From this point forward, develop the discipline of refusing to make excuses for anything. Refuse to criticize, condemn, or complain. Refuse to blame other people for things that aren't going well in your life. Instead, repeat to yourself over and over the words, I am responsible. I am responsible. I am responsible. Even if you are not directly responsible for the situation you find yourself in today, you are responsible for the way you behave from this moment forward. And the way you behave will largely determine what happens as a result of your circumstances. Keep saying to yourself,
no cigarette smoking in my room.
Do something to change it, rather than complain about it or blame someone else for it. The very act of deciding to take action will liberate your creative energies and make you a more positive and focused